What is the worst advice you've heard about running an Etsy shop? I created this channel and other Type 9 Studio social media platforms to share good advice about Etsy, but I think it's important to be aware that there is bad advice out there. Keep in mind that some of these may not spell death for your shop, but some will, so make sure you follow Etsy's terms of service to avoid your shop being banned or your funds being held for a long time. So in no particular order, number one, just list Disney, anime, whatever other copyrighted stuff. So right off the bat, not only is this against Etsy's terms of service, but it is illegal. You probably won't go to jail for this, but they'll just send you a takedown notice and Etsy will ban your shop if you keep doing it. And yes, I know, there is a lot of copyrighted stuff on Etsy right now, and their CEO has recently said that they will be cracking down on this soon, so it's not worth the risk to your shop. It's not even the big names like Disney and Nike you need to watch out for. It is things like Hydro Flask or Pop Socket. While those may seem like, just another name for a water bottle or a phone grip thing, those are copyrighted terms, so you cannot use them even in your tags. And this includes fabric or another kind of thing that you use for your products, but you didn't necessarily make yourself. I swear the story is related, but I used to work at a big craft store in the fabric section, and I had this exact conversation with the customer. They were mad that the store was allowed to sell John Deere printed fabric, but they weren't allowed to sell things they made with this John Deere printed fabric. Although people at the flea market were selling things with this John Deere fabric, but they weren't allowed to. And I was like, well, the people at the flea market aren't really allowed to either. And I was like, well, I'm not a lawyer, but I mean, you're probably not going to get caught at the flea market. But the store can sell it because they have a licensing agreement between them and the brand and the manufacturer. And that's why licensed material costs more than non-licensed material, because they have to pay for that licensing fee. Then they started to ask me how they can get a license, and I was like, look, I just work here. Number two, keep only one of each item in stock so that it will constantly say low stock or only one left. I saw this on TikTok a while back, and my first thought was how much time they spend or how much time they waste trying to manage their inventory with this method. Sure, having that low stock or only one left badge on your listing may influence somebody to buy it, but this actually doesn't do you any favors, or at least not as much as you think. Having that only one left or only one available and it's in 5 people's carts, whatever that thing says, that may convince somebody to make a purchase because they think it's going to sell out before they can buy it if they really want it. But only having one in stock and then selling out is just, it will completely stop your quality score. So my advice would actually be to not sell out of anything if at all possible. I know a lot of people want to go viral and sell out, but that actually doesn't really, it's not really how Etsy works. When you make a sale on Etsy, it gives a huge boost to your listing's quality score, which then bumps it up in the search results. And you're more likely to sell that same item again soon or almost immediately afterwards. You can't sell a listing that doesn't exist, so letting them sell out is not a good idea. You could manually renew the listing when it sells, but you're not going to be on your phone or your computer 24/7. And the manual renewal doesn't help as much as if it was just on auto renew with some more in stock. Then what happens when you start getting multiple orders a day? Are you going to keep going back and forth to count to see how much inventory you have left? Number 3, make all of your packaging handmade to save money. If there's anything that I have an unreasonable anger towards, it's TikTok videos that say to do this. In theory, having all handmade packaging is cute and sells the idea that your items are actually from a person and not a company, which is the goal of, people shopping on Etsy because they want to buy from a person who handmade the thing. But in practice, this is awful. It is not worth your time to spend hours and hours and hours making your own mailers out of cardstock or hand stamping your logo onto sheets of tissue paper or hand cutting stickers that you drew yourself. And this is not cheaper anyways. You're not saving any money by doing this. Even ignoring the amount of time that you spend it's still cheaper to order supplies in bulk. Because most of these I've seen, they're like, go to the dollar store and get like a 20 pack of tissue paper for $1. But you know, if you buy tissue paper in bulk, like thousands of sheets, it is significantly less than, what is it, 5 cents per sheet. It's like a penny per sheet or less if you order it in bulk. So I'm like, just do the cost difference, please. And I get that like brand new shops may not know for sure if they want to keep doing it, so they don't want to make the initial investment into the like tissue paper and mailers and whatever else. But beyond like the first couple orders, you should have a good idea of what you're doing, and stop doing that. While it is important to retain that this was handmade aspect, it is also important to look professional, because you want your customers to see your shop and your items as like an actual business and not a kid's craft project. So order your mailers, your business cards, your tissue paper, whatever else from a manufacturer, and use the time that you were wasting doing these things yourself and put that towards learning about growing your shop and making more money so you can afford to buy more of your own mailers and business cards. Number 4, you need extravagant packaging. This goes along with the last one, but if your packaging costs more than your product, you messed up somewhere. It's okay to throw in the occasional freebie. I do this sometimes with repeat customers or people who place like really big orders, but it's important to not eat into your profits with candy and 18 different kinds of confetti. I promise your customer will appreciate not having to throw away a bunch of junk with their package. Everything that goes in your package should either be the product that the person ordered or something that is informative or helpful for the customer, like in regards to their order, so their packing slip or a business card or something that tells them where they can find your shop, maybe get a discount code if they want to buy again, but nothing unnecessary, please. And don't put candy in your package unless your shop sells candy, but that's going to go straight in the trash because it's gross. Number 5, copy your competitors' titles and tags. This is a big one, and I've seen this a lot. It's not technically against the rules to do this, but it doesn't help you. Like I mentioned in this video, your SEO, so your title, tags, and description, are not the be-all end-all of how your product gets ranked in the search. It is your quality score that determines where you're ranked in search. Shoot, if it was as easy as copying everybody else's titles and tags, everybody's titles and tags would be exactly the same, and then there would be no point to the search ranking, so it wouldn't work. So while you like physically can copy somebody else's title and tags, you cannot copy their quality score. It's impossible. That's on you to have a good product that people actually want to buy. Do everything you can to increase your conversions and build up your own quality score, which I talked about how to do in this video. I'll link both of those below, by the way. Number 6, make as many listings as you can. While this is not entirely bad, it can hurt your shop. I know you're like, wait, Abby, you told us to have as many listings as we can. Why are you saying not to do this? Stick with me. While it is good to have more listings, having a bunch of crappy listings that nobody wants to buy is not good. Make sure you're consistent with good quality listings and go back to your old ones and see like which ones sell, which ones don't, and make more of the good ones. And where this can get you in trouble, I know this doesn't happen often, but I have heard of it a few times. You can get totally throttled in the search or your funds withheld for having too many listings at once, or adding too many listings at once, I should say. I'm talking like hundreds of listings in one day. It looks like spam to Etsy's system, and they don't like that. I always suggest to space out your new listings. Even if you just have 10 and not hundreds, it's better to space them all out instead of doing it all at once, because new listings give you a little bit of a boost in the search results. So having them spread out evenly gives you that consistent momentum, versus dumping them all gives you a big boost for a minute and then nothing until you have more. Number 7, you need social media to grow your Etsy shop. So while social media can help, it is entirely possible to have a successful Etsy shop with absolutely zero social media. For most people starting out without an existing audience or knowledge of how social media works, like you may, just because you use social media yourself and you consume content, that does not mean you know how it works. So if you're trying to start out marketing your Etsy shop from 0 followers, then it's likely going to be a waste of your time for a little while because you won't know what you're doing. Your time is better spent learning how to leverage Etsy's traffic itself through social media and building up your quality score, having good listings and things like that. Then you can slowly start growing your social media. At that point, when you make sales or you find the customers through Etsy, you can redirect them to your social media. So put your social media handles in your shop everywhere that you can, and include it in your orders as well, like on your order inserts. Then use your shop and your social media to kind of bounce off of each other. So you'll direct your Etsy customers to your social media, and then you'll use social media to direct people back to Etsy. And the hard part is that social media and how it works and how to get views on each platform keeps changing, like almost monthly, if not weekly at this point. So just do your best there, but just know that you don't have to have like 10,000 followers on Instagram to have sales on Etsy. That's not the case. Number 8, don't use Etsy, just go to Shopify instead. If you followed me for some time now, you probably are aware of how I feel about this and people who say this. Makes me very angry. I should make a whole video at some point about how you cannot compare Etsy and Shopify, but it might be like 20 minutes of yelling. For most people that use Etsy to sell handmade goods, Shopify is not going to be the better option for them. Shopify is not a marketplace. Nobody is going to stumble upon your Shopify site like they would stumble upon your products on Etsy. Yeah, you can do Google SEO, but it is very difficult with Shopify. But that's another topic for another day. But what this means is you have to drive 100% of your own traffic to Shopify. If you either don't have an existing customer base, a significant social media following, know how to use paid ads very effectively, or have the budget to hire someone to do them, or have the budget to even do them because they're very expensive, your Shopify will fail. There's also a lot of setup to do when you open your Shopify. It took me longer than the free trial to get mine set up by myself. And if you have any payment issues or any chargebacks or customer service issues that are on like the more payment side, not the shipping side, then you have to handle all of that stuff by yourself. It is nice that you get to make your Shopify shop unique and customize it, and you don't have to compete with other shops selling the exact same thing on the same page as yours. And it may be cheaper than Etsy once you surpass a certain amount of sales. It's not as easy as just opening a Shopify. You have to know the design, like how to design it and make it easy for the customer to use, and just a whole bunch of stuff that I think a lot of people absolutely do not have any idea about. So do your own research to see which platform is going to be the best for you and what you're trying to do with your business and your level of experience. And don't listen to people whose Etsy shops have failed because they either didn't care to learn how to do it properly or didn't know how to price their products properly and are trying to spread misinformation that Etsy is too expensive to sell on because their profit margin was so low, but it is directly their fault because they didn't price their products properly. I'd love to hear any more bad advice that you've gotten about Etsy, and it seems like TikTok is a goldmine for bad advice. On anything in general though, not just Etsy. If you want more actual good advice, then stick around. I do videos 2 days a week, usually on Etsy, on this channel, Type9 Studio. And if you want help with your Etsy shop specifically, I do offer shop reviews. They are available to purchase on my Ko-Fi page through the shop link. So you go to ko-fi.com/Type9Studio/shop, or just go to ko-fi.com/Type9Studio. Click on the shop tab and it will take you to my Etsy shop reviews. I'll take a look at your shop and let you know what you can improve and what I think you've done well, and hopefully get you on track to making some more sales. That's it for me today. I will see you in the next one and down in the comments. Goodbye.